Episode 38, Jonbenet Case, The Long Johns. This image to the right is a small segment of a strand or sequence of DNA. This is a marker, and they are color-coded to make it easier to understand. Each marker has several possible combinations. They use the letters A, T, C, and G. So each person can have a different combination on a certain marker. When you look at several markers, the odds of having the same combinations on the same sequence of markers is exponentially rare. And that's how they identify someone. When they do the testing on a sample, they'll do several looks. And the first look might come back, oh, that's Jonbenet. And they might look at another one and go, oh, that's Jonbenet. And they look back at another cell and they go, oh, that's Jonbenet. And then they look at another one and they go, oh, that's an unidentified male. It's not Jonbenet. So when they say the majority comes back Jonbenet, that's what they mean. And when they say a minority or a smaller portion, that's what they mean. Also, they notice, hey, this marker, we can't read it. Or that marker on the male, we don't know. Can't read that one either. So it doesn't come back with as clear a profile as that person. So here are the long johns, and there's the little cutout they took to do testing on, DNA testing. And there was a drop of blood there. And when they came back with the results, the majority was DNA for Jonbenet. But the minority and the decomposed or not as clear sequence of DNA was from an unknown male. The problem is those long johns were in several cabinet drawers, in people's hands, on Jonbenet, on the living room floor. And so the possibility of transferred touch DNA is very likely. A viewer noticed that those are a pair of boys' long johns. So those are probably hand-me-downs. And there is a good chance it's a friend of Burke's or Jonbenet's friend's touch DNA. I believe the unknown male DNA was on those long johns way before the crime, and Jonbenet's blood dropped onto the spot with the touch DNA. And I'm not alone. Dr. Henry Lee, a DNA expert, has the same opinion that this unknown male DNA could be totally innocent of this situation. It's an important fact that the unknown male touch DNA did not match anyone in the massive database. It's been almost 25 years, so it's pretty unlikely you would have some kind of sex predator who has never committed a crime or never committed a crime before this crime. The samples tested by looking at the DNA is more evidence there was no intruder, because there was nothing left by an intruder. The samples were Jonbenet's blood on her clothes, Jonbenet's skin under her fingernails, and her blood on her thighs. There was some trace DNA detected with more advanced testing. However, it was not fluid. That is why it's called touch DNA. This is why when John Ramsey carried Jonbenet's body upstairs and put it on the living room floor, and put a blanket on top of it. And then Detective Arndt picked her up and moved her to another location and put a throw towel over her. They compromised the evidence because that throw towel and the blanket and the rug that she was lying on all have cells on them from all the different people who have been in the house, and they all sprinkle down onto her body. And so you're going to get touch DNA. But that's not the same as droplets of Jonbenet's blood or skin under her fingernails of her own skin from her neck. Here's a good analogy. Say you have a bowl of soup and you throw some pepper on it, and then you dip in there and pick out a little piece of pepper, and you go, oh, this is pepper. You wouldn't say that's a bowl of pepper. It's still a bowl of soup. That's what that touch DNA is. It's like the pepper. There's just a little bit of it sprinkled on Jonbenet's blood, or a little bit under her fingernails, or a little bit on her long johns. And it's the reason we know about it is because DNA testing has advanced to such a high level that they now can pick up that also. Before, they would never even have known that was there. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and I hope it gave you a little idea what the DNA testing is like. And there's a few words maybe that I misspoke or would rather choose a different word, but in general terms, I think you understand the gist of what I was saying.